In this episode, we are visiting the Paris of Appalachia, also known as Pittsburgh. Then the road will take us west.
I'm riding with my RV, wherever I want to be. 'Cause I'm free in my RV.
We're staying here at the Madison-Pittsburgh KOA, which is between 30 and 40 miles from Pittsburgh, depending which route you take. And no route is particularly good. It ends up being about an hour no matter what, especially if you're trying to avoid tolls like we are. After all these years traveling, we still don't have an easy pass. Can you believe that? Eventually, we merge onto I-376 West, and here we are. First thing we're going to do is go to Mount Washington to see those famous commanding views of downtown. Then we'll see where serendipity takes us. Our plan today, not ambitious at all. We only have one full day in the city, so we're just gonna see some of the sights, sample the local cuisine, and maybe an ale or two. Liberty Bridge here becomes Liberty Tunnel, so let's make a right. Ooh, nice area. And nice views. Let's park right here in front of the library and explore by foot a little bit. Whoa, what a view! Probably one of the better views of the city. And guess what it is called? It is called Grand View Overlook. There's another overlook by the Duquesne Incline Railway on the other side of that bridge, where you can clearly see the fountain and the confluence of the Allegheny and the Monongahela. Cool, a riverboat. It is a very good-looking skyline, if you ask me. And by the way, also very noisy here.
Oh yes, we have finally made it to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The city is supposedly with the most bridges in America, and I've wanted to come here for a very long time, and there was always something or another scheduling issue that prevented us from enjoying this place. But now we're here, and I decided to begin our trip here from the high ground, right here at it's just a viewpoint. I forget the name of it. I know there's an incline railway that comes up here. Probably not gonna take it just because it's I mean, we're getting the view already just by driving here. We just drove here, parked right here in front of this library, and now we're gonna explore the neighborhood a little bit. We might walk all the way up there, and then we're going downtown. Commanding view, shall I say. First mining of Pittsburgh coal was here.
This is the St. Mary of the Mont Church, built in 1897 by Irish, German, and Italian immigrants who were looking for a cleaner environment. And I'm sure the view didn't hurt.
This round overlooks, so we can admire the skyline. Now that would be a nice place to have that balcony there.
I want to thank Bright Cellars for sponsoring this episode, and let me tell you how I got into wine. Some years back, our family would gather every Sunday, and I don't remember how this tradition began, but we started doing wine tastings. Every week we would choose a country or a varietal and enjoy drinking different wines while having quality time. That's why I'm very excited about Bright Cellars and tasting the wines they've selected for me. And it's super simple. First, you take a 7-question quiz so they can gather your taste preferences and deliver you wines you are guaranteed to like. And each box is unique, tailored to your taste palates. I'm very excited to try these unique wines I've never tasted before, actually. So let's see what we've got today. Each box comes with these wine education cards for each bottle that outlines the tasting notes, suggested pairings, best serving temperature, origin, so you can learn and impress your friends and family with your new extensive wine knowledge. I think today I'm in the mood for a Malbec, so I'm gonna taste this one. So let's open it up and read what the card says. Okay, the Stone Lantern Malbec here, full-bodied red, blueberry, black cherry, plum, and vanilla are the tasting notes, and it pairs well with creamy blue cheese, pork tenderloin, and family gatherings. Sounds good! From Washington State, and it even has a QR code that you can scan so you can improve your future matches. Let's open it up! Oh, this is delicious. I like the fact that the wine is sent directly to me because sometimes it can be a daunting task. You know, going to the store and standing before all those different wines and not knowing whether you're gonna like it or not. And let's face it, you end up buying the same thing all the time. This certainly simplifies things, and you get to try something new every time. Sponsors like Bright Cellars make it possible for me to keep making all this content, so by supporting a sponsor, you can help to directly support my channel. Bright Cellars is giving you, my followers, 50% off your first 6-bottle box. That's 6 bottles for just $53. Crazy value. So please support my channel by following the link in the description to take the quiz and get started today.
By the way, that very nice apartment with the balcony, I checked on Zillow, about $500,000, which doesn't seem that bad considering the location. Now, the single-family homes with a view are all around the $1 million mark. This area here is Grandview Avenue's Restaurant Row. Lemont here looks fancy. Maybe next time. Today we have something much more casual in mind. But it is tempting. You know, dinner with a view. Here on the right, the famous Duquesne Incline. Let me see if we can find parking nearby, because this should be the site of that iconic view. This is the Points of View sculpture depicting George Washington and Seneca leader Gayasura. We definitely have to figure out a way to park, if only for a few minutes. This is a little tight, but I think it might work, actually. Let's begin with that sculpture of Washington and Gayasura. The two men had very different ideas about the future, but they were on friendly terms, and their actions shaped what would become of this area. That would be Heinz Field, home of the Pittsburgh Steelers, which are practically a religion in this town. And here's the Duquesne Incline. We're not gonna take it this time around, but it is very historic, dating back to 1877. It was originally steam-powered and intended to carry cargo, not passengers. And this is that iconic view of Pittsburgh's Golden Triangle. which is another name for downtown, officially Central Business District. And sometimes it is good to turn off the music and listen to the hum of the city. Here's the confluence of the Allegheny and the Monongahela, forming the mighty Ohio River. We're definitely heading down there later today. Very steep streets in this part of town. Almost reminds me of San Francisco in that sense. And you're not gonna believe where we're going next. Well, Canton Avenue, of course, which is the steepest officially recorded public street in the United States. Its claim to fame is disputed because throughout the entire length the street averages about 30% grade, but there are 21 feet that are 37% grade, hence its claim. Here it is, on the left. Should I or should I not? I don't know. I'm kind of afraid the Colorado may not be up to the task. Let's go to the upper section, see if we can park.
Well, here we are. If you're prone to vertigo, close your eyes, because this happens to be the steepest street in the continental United States. I was gonna take it with the Colorado, but I kind of chickened out.
Actually, it doesn't look that steep on camera, but it is, trust me. Must be some kind of optical illusion. Let's continue. We're in an area called the Strip District. At the end there, St. Stanislaus Kostka Church, of a style known as Polish Cathedral. Here's the original location of Primanti Brothers, nowadays a restaurant chain known for their almost famous sandwiches, invented during the Great Depression.
Well, we landed in the Strip District, and now we're going to Primanti Brothers, which is supposed to be like the famous place here. Well, this is Primanti's. The menu is on the wall, and everybody's kind of in a rush, but I'm sure the food is gonna be good.
Those are the ingredients printed on the shirt.
Cajun chicken and Pittsburgh. Here we go. Check that out. Burger, fries, everything in one sandwich. Well, that was the famous Primanti's. There's another room on the right. Whew. That was an experience. And now we continue. I mean, an experience in the sense of the ambience and the uniqueness of the place. The sandwich was okay. And yeah, it was loud. Oh, look at the line now. We got lucky.
This would be Penn Avenue.
We could keep going and going forever, but I think I'm gonna go back.
Let me tell you, if we hadn't eaten at Primanti's, some of this stuff around here looks really good. And some of these businesses have been here forever. How about we go see some public art? me tell you something, I am pleasantly surprised by Pittsburgh. I really like it. It's got more character than what I expected, which, to be honest, I really didn't know what to expect. I believe this here to the right is what we're looking for. Let's find parking.
Check this place out.
The art installation is called Randyland, and it was created by one Randy Gilson, pictured here.
Welcome. Gardens open. Well, let's check it out real quick.
Randy bought this property back in 1995 and turned it into this: dumpster diving and upcycling, creatively reusing materials in order to make his art. Ever since his partner passed away in 2019, he's been repainting and revitalizing his project.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? East Jesus in Slab City.
It is definitely a lot more colorful than East Jesus, but kind of similar concept. It is actually quite fascinating. I don't think I've ever seen a more eclectic collection of repurposed items. Sometimes I find this kind of places, this type of art, it can be disturbing or distasteful, but not this place. Everything somehow fits together. Harmoniously, I would say. Very pleasant, very good vibe. What is this place? Look at all these toys. Apparently, Randy is also really into gardening.
That's very cool.
Oh, and it keeps going. It would have been cool to speak to Randy, ask him about his inspiration, his motivation to make something like this. Very cool. Now let's go downtown. That building directly in front of us reminds me of something I've seen, perhaps in the Bronx or actually Place Ville-Marie in Montreal. And this lively area is Market Square, and the Oyster House here by the corner is the oldest restaurant in Pittsburgh. I'm telling you, sometimes I wish we had more than one stomach. There's that building again, apparently part of a complex called Gateway Plaza. They built it as part of a downtown revitalization program in the 50s and 60s. We should really start looking for parking, and it is so easy to get lost when you don't know your way around the city. The GPS will take you to the place, but then you have to figure out parking, and some streets are one way. It is difficult to navigate sometimes. Here we are. That castle-looking skyscraper is called PPG Place, and it is quite unique, actually.
Well, we had to use the bathroom, so we came into Sly Fox here as a top house. You know, bottom floor of a condo. It was nice. And now we're gonna go to the Triangle Park. I forget what it's called, and then we're going to a church.
That Triangle Park is officially Point State Park, by the confluence of the two rivers, and former site of an old French fort. And that's Mount Washington, where we were this morning.
So this is where the fort used to be. They have delineated where the fort would have been with these markings on the floor.
Yep, that looks like so much fun.
Oh, that fountain is putting out a mist that feels really, really refreshing. Anyways, this is Point Park. It's the confluence of the Monong. I have to read it because it doesn't roll off the tongue. The Monongahela River and the Allegheny, which in turn become the Ohio River, right here at Point Park, exactly right off downtown Pittsburgh. Beautiful place, beautiful views from the park here. That's where we were earlier today. That's Mount Washington, and it's going up and down right now. That's the funicular, what's it called? The Mount Washington Cog Railway. I forget the exact name. And over there, Science Center, and of course, Heinz Field, where the Steelers play. So, all in all, this is like a fitting end to our time. Oh, fitting end? No, we're gonna go someplace else. So, let's continue, actually.
It is the Duquesne Incline. Very iconic.
So yeah, it's still there.
What we're about to do next seems very sacrilegious, but we're doing it anyway. We're going to have a beer in a church. I think we're lost, but aside from the narrowness of the streets, I don't really mind. I don't mind at all. We're discovering all these back streets, where people actually live. Well, this is it.
Oh yes, our last destination today is a church. Well, not really. Actually, I had this idea back in my early 20s. It is actually a bar inside a church. It is called the Church Brew Works. Let's check it out.
Oh yeah, how appropriate. At the altar. That's where they brew the beer.
No, this feels wrong somehow, but forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. By the way, it is called a black IPA. It's delicious.
Let me tell you, I thought I had seen everything. And on the 8th day, man created beer. Sacrilegious indeed.
Well, this was certainly unique. Well, yeah, I think this would be a fitting end to our time here in Pittsburgh. I don't know if we're gonna come back tomorrow, maybe, but if we don't, this is it. Now we'll continue west. We might stop in the Detroit area, maybe we'll go back to Toledo, and then Michigan.
That was such a fun day. Now we're going to head back, and tomorrow is going to be mostly work, so we'll keep the cameras off. We'll pick it up on Wednesday.
Woo! On the road again. Pittsburgh was great. It was one of those great American cities, that the larger cities that, you know, I hadn't seen yet. I still have quite a few left, but Pittsburgh was on the short list, and it didn't disappoint. Very nice. Had a great time, and now we're gonna start heading west. We're gonna try to do it like kind of on the back roads. I want to take US 30 most of the way. Now we're going into Ohio and eventually into Michigan for the M21 meetup, and that's the plan. And then to Indiana, to the mothership, to Winnebago. We're gonna take care of some things, and there's like a mini open house there, and enjoy the ride. It's gonna be most of the day driving. We're kind of late. We departed super late, 11:26 now, but we'll get there when we get there. We have 2 days to make it to Michigan.
It is the best of rides. We even crossed briefly into West Virginia. West Virginia, by the way, has the strangest map with these narrow panhandles. And as we cross the Ohio River, we are now back in the Buckeye State. It is a beautiful drive on the Lincoln Highway, but someone forgot to turn on the rooftop GoPro, so this is all the footage we got.
Well, good morning from Ohio. It was a beautiful drive yesterday on US 30 coming here through the mountains from Pennsylvania, but you're gonna have to take my word for it because someone, meaning me, probably forgot to hit the record button, so the GoPro on the roof didn't record anything. And we spent the night here at this winery, which was very nice of them. They're a harvest host, and they were not technically open yesterday, but they let us stay anyway, so that's great. I would have loved to actually, we could have used some red wine last night, because it is the first cold weather of the season here.
In 400 feet, turn right onto C56.
So fall has begun officially today. 49 degrees Fahrenheit, and apparently it feels like 43.
Take the next right onto C56.
You know, with the wind chill and all that. Now we go to Michigan, to the M21 meetup at the Lake of Dreams campground, which is kind of, if you look at the mitten, it's kind of around here. Let's do it.
Oh man, what's with this weather? Fall is certainly in the air, like clockwork, As we're filming here, yesterday was officially the first day of fall, and the skies opened up and the mercury descended a good 20 to 30 degrees overnight. And as I mentioned, we're going to the M21 meetup. It is going to be a gathering of nomads and YouTubers from all over the country, and there will be all kinds of vehicles from camper vans to schoolies and everything in between. Should be a lot of fun, and we may even be able to make a day trip in the state, but more about that on the next episode. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and see you on the road.
I'm riding in my RV, wherever I want to be, and 'cause I'm free in my RV. Yeah, I'm riding, I'm riding in my RV, wherever I want to be, 'cause I'm free in my RV, yeah.